Welcome to NTN Nightly. I am Janelle Norville. This edition's top stories. The second term of the 2020-2021 academic year is set to resume following months of closure due to COVID-19. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force has begun detaining individuals who refuse to abide by the provisions of home quarantine. And the Prime Minister, the Honourable Alan Shasney, pledges support to sister isles affected by seismic activity. The second term of the 2020-2021 academic year is set to resume following closure on October 16, 2020 due to COVID-19. Teachers and auxiliary staff of schools island-wide reported to their respective schools on Monday, January 4, 2021, in preparation for the return of students on January 11, 2021. Due to the community spread of COVID-19, schools had remained closed with special allowances being made for the education sector to facilitate students of tertiary level schools in medical and natural science programs that require laboratory and practical evaluations, students of secondary schools in Forms 4 and 5 who are preparing for regional and international academic evaluations, and primary school students in grade 6 preparing for national and regional academic evaluations, particularly the Common Entrance exam. Cognizant that the health and safety of students and staff is paramount, the Department of Education, Innovation and Gender Relations has been and continues to consult with stakeholders to ensure the mode of operation provides for the safest possible environment for all. The department will further update the public on finalized plans for January 2021 in a subsequent communique. As primary and secondary schools prepare to reopen, the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College says it will continue instruction on the virtual platform when it reopens on the 4th of January. College Communications Officer Natalie Jolie-Fanis explains.
We have a population of close to 2,000 students. So the logistics of having students physically on the campus in a classroom space is not as easily manageable as in other schools where there is a set class room for a group of students. The constant changes and movement with our classes, with our labs, etc. So we remain online.
Okay.
Our students, as you know, are more mature students. So we come back as of January 4th into our online mode.
The Sir Arthur Lewis Community College looks forward to prompt resumption of classes in January to catch up on course study in the previous semester.
We had a later than normal start for the new semester. We started, I think, around the middle of September, whereas traditionally we would start either the last week in August, the first week in September. So our semester, and that's another reason we really can't delay the break, our semester has been pushed into January. So when the students return, they will be completing semester 1.
Following exams to wrap up semester 1, Jolie-Fanis says semester 2 will officially commence in February 2021 and run for its full 15 weeks, pushing later into May than usual. Still with education, the United Nations Children's Fund, the UNICEF, highlighted the importance of ensuring students are returned to the classroom setting as soon as possible. We hear more from CARICOM News Times to San King English Francis.
Meanwhile, UNICEF, the United Nations Children's Fund, is now warning against extensive school closures, noting that the benefits of keeping schools open far outweigh the cost of closing them. In a recent release, UNICEF opines that closing schools did not help in the fight against COVID-19, but simply removed a system that provides children with support, food and safety as well as learning. Instead of shutting them, it said governments should prioritize school opening and make classrooms as safe as possible.
That report from CARICOM News Times to San King English Francis. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force, in conjunction with the Ministry of Health and Wellness, wishes to remind all persons granted home quarantine by the Ministry of Health and Wellness that they are to abide by the stipulations outlined upon arrival of their requests. At no time should anyone granted home quarantine be frequenting public locations, be in contact with members of the general public, or leave the confines of their premises. The reminder follows instances of breaches of home quarantine. Consequently, the police force is assisting the Ministry of Health in detaining individuals who refuse to abide by the provisions of home quarantine and escorting them to government quarantine facilities. On Saturday, January 2, 2021, a female resident of Boseju, Grozile, was detained by officers attached to the Grozile police station after having been observed in public areas on several occasions. She was accompanied to a government quarantine facility for monitoring. Authorities have made it clear that anyone found not adhering to the terms of home quarantine upon review by the Ministry of Health will have their approval revoked and placed in a government quarantine facility at his or her own expense. Anyone with information regarding possible breaches of the conditions of home quarantine is asked to call the nearest police station immediately. The Nobel Laureate Festival Committee announces its annual Nobel Laureate Festival. The festival takes place from the 6th to the 31st of January 2021 under the theme Celebrating Excellence, Challenge, Uncertainty, Opportunity. In its 28th year, the committee found itself challenged with producing a festival that adhered to restrictions and protocols brought about by the coronavirus. As a result, some of the events, such as the 2 Nobel Laureate Memorial Lectures, will have limited in-person attendance, but all of them will be accessible online via Zoom and Facebook Live, with a dependence on media to inform the nation and to alert people who do not have social media access. Dame Paulette Louisy, chair of the committee, notes that the theme aptly describes the environment in which this year's festival is being observed. Zoom links and programs will be available on the Facebook page at Nobel Laureate Festival St. Lucia and by request to the coordinator at email address info@ddmediarelations.com or on WhatsApp at 758-717-7979. This is NTN Nightly. Please stay with us.
A habit of daily caring for the teeth, tongue, and gums not only improves your oral health, it also helps maintain a healthy body. Here's how. Be sure to wash your hands and your food before eating. Rinse your mouth thoroughly after every meal and after brushing your teeth. Floss at least once a day before you brush your teeth along the lines of your teeth. Brush at least twice a day, including before bedtime. Ensure you cover the entire tooth surface. Avoid sticky and sugary foods, including candy, as well as carbonated drinks, as they increase your chances of getting cavities. Consume lots of water, fruits, and vegetables daily. Wait at least 15 minutes after having acidic food and drink, such as citrus fruits and soft drinks, before brushing your teeth. This prevents damage to your teeth's enamel. Visit your dentist twice yearly. For further information, call the Dental Services Unit of the Ministry of Health and Wellness at 468-5314.
Welcome back. Prime Minister the Honorable Alan Chastanet has pledged St. Lucia's support to sister isles St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Martinique amid seismic activity in the two countries. Honorable Chastanet did so during an emergency meeting of the OECS Authority. The meeting was held virtually on December 31, 2020, under the chairmanship of Dr. the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica. The emergency session was convened to discuss the particular challenges experienced by St. Vincent and the Grenadines, given the recent effusive eruptions at the La Soufrière, as well as the continued concerns of seismic activity from Mount Pelee in Martinique. A 3-member team from the University of the West Indies UWI Seismic Research Center, SRC, is in St. Vincent to monitor the volcanic activities, using additional equipment and continuing the support provided by the SRC. More support would be provided in the coming days. Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. the Honorable Ralph Gonsalves, detailed the situation and the events which led to a subsequent elevation of the alert level from green to orange on Tuesday, the 29th December 2020.
With this increase in activity, we have moved the alert level to orange. When there's no activity, it's situation of green. When there's a little restlessness, you carry it to yellow. But now that there is an effusive oozing eruption taking place, we have to take the alert level up to orange. This means that there is a higher elevated activity of heat and gas called fumarolic activity at the volcano, and with the strong sulfur smell. And the effusive eruptions, as you heard from the Seismic Research Center, may continue. And it may end up as an explosive eruption. But in 1971-72, you had a similar oozing, and it just simply oozed and just quietened down. Until, of course, in 1979, you had a Big Bang eruption.
There has been no evacuation of residents thus far. However, OECS member states have pledged over 3,000 rooms for accommodation and would continue to assess their accommodation capacities should more rooms be needed, as they remain on standby to assist if an evacuation is ordered. Hoping for the best but preparing for the worst. Member states also pledged support of personnel, air, sea and land transportation, among offers of practical assistance. The OECS authority also received a summary report on the Mount Pelee situation in Martinique. Martinique was at a yellow alert level as of December 4, 2020, due to a resurgence of activity on the Mount Pelee volcano. The activity began in April 2019, recorded at 10 kilometers below sea level, a situation which scientists have said will result in the surfacing of magmatic fluid. There has been an increase in seismic activities as of November 2020, and research is continuing to determine the process and the origin of the signals and the actual evidence of more developments. Yellow alert means the enforcement of scientific observation of the volcano. Martinique is being supported by the OECS, UE and Paris Globe Institute of Physics. That brings us to the end of NTN Nightly. Join us next time at 7 p.m. with a repeat at 7 a.m. You can also catch up with us anytime on the St. Lucia Government Facebook page or YouTube channel. I am Janelle Norville.